The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Federation hung in the void between three dying stars. Its crystal walls stretched for kilometers, housing the most powerful beings in the known universe. Today, those beings sat in stunned silence. Admiral Zekthor of the Vortani Empire leaned forward on his 6 arms, his reptilian eyes fixed on the holographic display floating above the central platform. The image showed a massive structure emerging from what the galaxy had always considered a backwater solar system, the Sol system, home to the primitive species called humans. "This cannot be accurate," hissed Counselor Valerix, her crystalline form shimmering with disbelief. "Our intelligence reports clearly stated that Earth possesses only basic nuclear capabilities, chemical propulsion, primitive metallurgy." "Hi." Commander Thane, the cyborg representative from the Nexus Collective, spoke in his mechanical voice. "The data is confirmed. 3 separate deep space monitoring stations detected the same energy signature. Something massive just uncloaked in Earth's outer system." The hologram rotated slowly, revealing the impossible structure in its full glory. It was enormous, easily 50 kilometers long and 20 wide. Its hull gleamed with an unknown metal that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. Weapon systems lined its surface like the scales of some ancient space dragon. "By the 7 suns," whispered Executor Nathan from the Celestial Dominion. "That's not just a ship, that's a supercarrier. Look at those launch bays." Indeed, the structure featured dozens of massive openings along its flanks, each large enough to house what appeared to be entire fleets of smaller vessels. Admiral Zekthor's voice carried the weight of his 400 years of military experience. "Counselors, we have been monitoring Earth for over 2 centuries. How did they build something of this magnitude without our knowledge?" The question hung in the air like a death sentence. The Galactic Federation had rules, strict protocols, about primitive species and their development. Earth was supposed to be centuries away from achieving faster-than-light travel, let alone constructing something that dwarfed their own capital ships. Counselor Valerix's crystalline form pulsed with nervous energy. "There must be an explanation. Perhaps it's not of human origin. Maybe another species." "No." High Commander Thane's sensors had been analyzing the data continuously. The hull composition matches refined Earth metals. The energy signatures are consistent with human fusion technology, but enhanced somehow. Significantly enhanced. A new voice echoed through the chamber, ancient and commanding. The council turned toward the shadow-wrapped alcove where the Eternal Archon held court. The being had witnessed the rise and fall of 1,000 civilizations. "There is something else," the Archon intoned. "Show them the transmission logs." Thane's cybernetic fingers danced over his control interface. New data streamed across the holographic display, communication intercepts from Earth's military channels over the past 75 years. "This is impossible," Zekthor breathed as he processed the information. "These communications reference projects dating back to their World War II. They've been planning this for nearly a century?" The evidence was undeniable. Codenames like Project Deep Star and Operation Vast Sky appeared in fragments of intercepted communications. References to the hidden yards and off-world construction scattered throughout decades of carefully encrypted messages. "They knew," Valerix said, her voice barely a whisper. "Somehow they knew we were watching." High Commander Thane highlighted specific data points. "Look at these patterns. While we observed their public space program launching primitive chemical rockets, they were simultaneously developing advanced technologies in complete secrecy. The resource allocation alone should have been impossible to hide. Unless," the Eternal Archon said slowly, "they had help." The implications sent shockwaves through the assembled counselors. The Federation had specific treaties about contact with primitive species. If one of their member races had been secretly aiding humanity, suddenly, alarms began blaring throughout the chamber. Emergency lights bathed the crystal walls in pulsing red. High Commander Thane's optical sensors flared as new data flooded his systems. "Counselors," he announced, his mechanical voice cutting through the chaos. "The Earth vessel is moving. It's left its position near their outer planets and is heading directly toward us." The holographic display updated in real time, showing the massive supercarrier accelerating at impossible speeds. The energy readings climbing exponentially. Estimated time to our position? Admiral Zekthor demanded. At current acceleration, 18 hours. The council erupted in voices, some calling for immediate military response, others demanding diplomatic contact. But the Eternal Archon's words silenced them all. Ready the defense fleets, the ancient being commanded. But also prepare a first contact. Delegation. After all these millennia of watching from the shadows. The Archon paused as the supercarrier's energy signature spiked again. It appears humanity has decided to introduce themselves. Barwar. Chapter 2. The Hidden Truth. 72 hours earlier, Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the command center of humanity's most closely guarded secret. The facility, buried 3 kilometers beneath the Canadian Rockies, had been operational for 8 decades. Few humans knew of its existence, even fewer knew what it had been building. Status report, Dr. Morrison, Chen commanded, her voice echoing through the vast underground complex. Dr. James Morrison, the facility's chief scientist, looked up from his quantum display screens. His weathered face showed the strain of decades spent working on humanity's greatest gamble. The Harbinger is fully operational, Admiral. All systems are green. The crew of 50,000 is aboard and ready. Chen nodded, but her expression remained grave. And our observers? Still maintaining their surveillance patterns. They have no idea we detected their monitoring probes 15 years ago. The truth was staggering in its implications. Humanity had discovered they were being watched by an advanced galactic civilization in 2010, when a damaged alien probe had been recovered from the Pacific Ocean. Instead of panicking or attempting contact, Earth's leaders had made a different choice. They had decided to prepare. The probe's technology had been reverse-engineered in absolute secrecy. International borders became meaningless as every major power contributed resources to a single, unified project. The world's greatest minds were recruited into a shadow organization known only as the Prometheus Initiative. Show me the final roster, Chen ordered. Morrison activated another display. Names and faces scrolled past. The crew of the Harbinger represented the absolute best of humanity. Scientists, engineers, military personnel, and specialists from every field imaginable. They had been training for this moment for over a decade. Admiral, Morrison said quietly, are you certain this is the right approach? We could still attempt diplomatic contact first. Chen's eyes hardened. Doctor, we've studied their probe technology for 15 years. We know they've been watching us for over 2 centuries. If they wanted diplomatic contact, they would have made it. The fact that they haven't tells us everything we need to know about their intentions. She gestured toward a classified report on her desk. Our analysis of their probe's memory core revealed fragments of their communications. They refer to us as primitives and discuss our eventual integration into their federation. That's not diplomacy, Doctor. That's conquest with extra steps. Morrison fell silent. The evidence was overwhelming. Earth was being evaluated for eventual subjugation, treated like children who couldn't be trusted with their own development. Besides, Chen continued, we're not starting a war. We're simply announcing that humanity is no longer willing to be studied like lab rats. The Harbinger isn't just a warship, it's a statement. The Harbinger, humanity's crown jewel and greatest secret, built using a combination of reverse-engineered alien technology and human innovation, it was unlike anything that had ever existed. 50 kilometers of advanced armor, weapons that could crack moons, and a crew trained for interstellar warfare. But its most important feature wasn't its weapons, it was its message. Dr. Morrison, Chen said, her voice carrying decades of determination, activate the communication array. It's time to introduce ourselves to the galaxy. Yes, Admiral. Transmitting on all known Federation frequencies. Chen stepped forward as the communication systems came online. This message would be heard across the galaxy, carried by quantum transmitters reverse-engineered from alien technology. Her words would echo through the halls of power in civilizations humanity had never met. To the members of the Galactic Federation, she began, her voice steady and clear. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. We know you have been watching us. We know you consider us primitive. We know you have plans for our world." She paused, letting the weight of revelation settle across the stars. Today, those plans change. Humanity claims its place among the stars, not as subjects to be integrated, but as equals to be respected. We come not in conquest, but in strength. We seek not war, but we will not accept subjugation. The communication array showed her message, propagating across the galaxy at faster than light speeds. "Our vessel, the Harbinger, carries 50,000 of Earth's finest. We are coming to your Grand Council, not as supplicants seeking permission, but as representatives of a sovereign world demanding recognition." Chen's voice grew harder, carrying the authority of an entire species. "We have learned much from studying your technology. We have learned much from watching your watchers. Most importantly, we have learned that respect in this galaxy is not given. It is earned through strength." She gestured to her staff, who began activating the Harbinger's departure sequence. "The age of humanity hiding in the shadows is over. We step into the light of distant stars with our eyes open and our weapons ready. Whether we meet as friends or enemies will depend entirely on how you choose to receive us." The transmission ended, leaving the command center in tense silence. "Admiral," Morrison said quietly, "there's no going back from this." Chen looked at the screens showing the Harbinger's massive bulk beginning to move through space, its cloaking systems finally deactivated after decades of hidden construction. "Doctor, there was never any going back. The moment they began watching us, the moment they made plans for our future without our consent, this became inevitable." She turned to face her assembled staff, men and women who had dedicated their lives to this moment. "Signal the Harbinger, Admiral Chen to Admiral Rodriguez. You are cleared for departure. Take us to the stars, Maria. Let's go make history." I'd. Chapter 3. First Contact. The void between galaxies had never witnessed a scene like this one. The Harbinger, Earth's impossible supercarrier, came to a stop exactly 1 light hour from the Grand Council's mobile station. The distance was carefully calculated, close enough to demonstrate capability, far enough to avoid being seen as immediately threatening. Admiral Maria Rodriguez stood on the Harbinger's command bridge, a space so vast it could have housed a small city. The bridge's panoramic screen showed the alien station in all its crystalline glory, a structure that dwarfed even their massive vessel. "First contact protocols are active," reported Commander Jackson Hayes, the ship's tactical officer. "All weapon systems are powered but not targeted. Defensive screens at maximum." Rodriguez nodded. At 65, she was humanity's most experienced space commander, though until 3 days ago, her experience had been limited to Earth's solar system. Now she commanded the most powerful vessel humanity had ever built, carrying the hopes and fears of an entire species. "Communications, any response to our hails?" Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka looked up from her quantum communication array. "Several responses, Admiral. The Federation appears to be arguing among themselves about how to respond to us. Can you give me details?" "The translations are rough, but it seems some want to treat this as a diplomatic first contact, while others are calling for immediate military action. There's a third faction suggesting we're somehow not actually human." Rodriguez exchanged glances with her second-in-command, Captain Erich Volkov, the Russian's cybernetic eye, a result of an accident during training with reverse-engineered alien technology, words softly as it processed the tactical displays. "Admiral," Volkov said in his accented English, "our long-range sensors are detecting massive energy buildups throughout the Federation fleet. They're preparing for battle." "As expected," Rodriguez replied calmly. "Launch the diplomatic shuttle as planned. If they want to talk, we'll talk. If they want to fight." She gestured toward the tactical displays showing the Harbinger's awesome firepower. "We're ready for that too." The shuttle that departed the Harbinger was itself a marvel of human engineering. Built using alien technology but improved with human innovation, it carried Ambassador Dr. Elena Vasquez and a small delegation toward the Federation station. As the shuttle approached, the Federation's response became clear. A massive escort of alien warships formed around it, not quite hostile, but definitely not friendly. Harbinger, this is Diplomatic Shuttle Terra 1, Dr. Vasquez reported over the comm. I'm seeing 47 escort vessels. Their designs match intelligence reports for Vortani Empire cruisers. Acknowledged, Terra 1, Rodriguez replied. Maintain course. Remember, you're representing all of humanity today. Understood, Admiral. Beginning docking procedures now. The Grand Council chamber had been hastily reconfigured for first contact. The Eternal Archon sat in the center, flanked by the most powerful beings in the galaxy. When the human delegation entered, the silence was profound. Dr. Vasquez was a small woman by human standards, but she carried herself with absolute confidence. Behind her walked Colonel Michael Chen, Admiral Sarah Chen's younger brother, and Dr. Rajesh Patel, Earth's leading expert in xenolinguistics. The humans' environmental suits were works of art in themselves, combining alien technology with human engineering to create something that was both functional and intimidating. The suit's external displays showed real-time translations in dozens of alien languages. Honored members of the Galactic Federation, Dr. Vasquez began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's translation systems. I am Dr. Elena Vasquez, representing the United Worlds of Humanity. We come in response to your centuries of observation and with an offer of mutual respect. Admiral Zek Thor leaned forward, his predatory features showing open skepticism. Human, your species was catalogued as pre-contact civilization level 2. You should not possess the technology to reach us, let alone construct the vessel waiting outside our station. Dr. Vasquez smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both diplomatic and dangerous. Admiral Zek Thor, our intelligence files on you are quite extensive. We know you've been monitoring our development for over 200 years. What you failed to consider is that we might have been monitoring you in return. The chamber erupted in voices. Counselor Valerix's crystalline form pulsed with agitation. Impossible. Our surveillance technology is far beyond your capabilities. Was beyond our capabilities, Colonel Chen interjected, stepping forward. Until 15 years ago, when one of your monitoring probes suffered a malfunction and crashed in our Pacific Ocean. High Commander Thane's optical sensors focused intently on the human kernel. You recovered and reverse-engineered our technology. We improved it, Dr. Patel added quietly. Your probe's quantum processors were efficient, but our neural quantum hybrid systems proved significantly more capable. The Eternal Archon raised one ancient hand, and silence fell across the chamber. Humans of Earth, you claim to seek mutual respect, yet you arrive with a vessel that outguns most of our battle fleets. Explain this contradiction. Dr. Vasquez met the ancient being's gaze without flinching. Honored Archon, respect must be mutual. For 2 centuries you have watched us, studied us, and made plans for our eventual integration into your federation. You never considered that we might prefer to make our own choices about our future. She activated a holographic display that showed fragments of intercepted Federation communications, their own words about humanity's eventual subjugation. We seek peace, she continued, but we will not accept domination. The Harbinger represents humanity's ability to defend itself. Whether it remains a symbol of deterrence or becomes a weapon of war depends entirely on the choices made in this chamber today. Counselor Valerix's form flickered with anger. You dare threaten the Federation, your single vessel against our thousands of worlds. Colonel Chen's smile was cold as winter. Counselor, the Harbinger is not our only vessel. It's simply our formal introduction to galactic politics. The implications sent shockwaves through the assembled council. If humans had built one supercarrier in secret, how many more might be hidden throughout their solar system? Admiral Zek Thor's military mind was already calculating possibilities. How many vessels do you possess? Enough, Dr. Vasquez replied diplomatically. But we prefer not to think in terms of military might. We prefer to think in terms of mutual benefit. She gestured and new holographic displays appeared, technical specifications, resource surveys, and scientific discoveries. Humanity offers the Federation partnership, not submission. Our scientists have made significant advances in quantum mechanics, neural computing, and energy production. Our engineers have improved upon every piece of your technology we've studied. Our worlds possess resources and knowledge that could benefit every member of this Federation. The Eternal Archon leaned forward, ancient eyes studying the human delegation with new interest. And in return, recognition as a sovereign star nation, full membership in the Federation as equals, not subjects, the right to control our own development and choose our own destiny. And if we refuse? High Commander Thane asked. Dr. Vasquez's expression grew solemn. Then humanity will chart its own course among the stars. We will establish our own territories, make our own alliances, and defend our own interests. The galaxy is vast enough for multiple powers. The threat was subtle, but unmistakable. Humanity was offering partnership, but they were prepared for independence and conflict if necessary. Suddenly, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Emergency lights bathed the chamber in warning colors. High Commander Thane's sensors were receiving urgent data streams. "Counselors," he announced, his mechanical voice cutting through the chaos. "Long-range sensors are detecting massive energy signatures throughout the Sol system. Multiple vessels are decloaking. The holographic displays updated to show the impossible truth. Earth's solar system was revealing secrets that had been hidden for decades. Massive construction platforms orbited Jupiter. Battle fleets emerged. From the asteroid belt, defense installations activated around every major planet. By the Seven Suns, whispered Executor Nathan. They've militarized their entire system. Admiral Rodriguez's voice came over the communication array, transmitted from the Harbinger's bridge. Federation Council, you are witnessing humanity's true capabilities. We have been preparing for this moment for decades. Every probe you sent to study us, we studied in return. Every technology you thought was beyond our reach, we mastered and improved. The displays showed vessel after vessel. Cruisers, destroyers, carriers, and ships of designs the Federation had never seen. Hundreds of them, scattered throughout the Sol system in carefully concealed positions. We offer this demonstration not as a threat, Admiral Rodriguez continued, but as proof of our capability. Humanity seeks peace through strength. We will join the galactic community as equals, or we will remain independent and secure our own future. Dr. Vasquez stepped forward as the chamber fell into stunned silence. Honored Council, the choice is yours. Do we move forward as partners, or do we part ways as strangers? Either path is acceptable to humanity. We simply refuse to walk the path of subjugation. The Eternal Archon rose slowly, his ancient form commanding attention from every being in the chamber. Admiral Rodriguez, he spoke directly to the communication array. Return your ambassador to your vessel. The Council requires time to deliberate. Understood, Archon. Dr. Vasquez, you are cleared to return. As the human delegation prepared to leave, Counselor Valarix's voice rang out across the chamber. Humans, you have been most illuminating, but answer this. Why reveal yourselves now? Why not continue building in secret? Dr. Vasquez paused at the chamber's exit, looking back at the assembled powers of the galaxy. Because, Counselor, we have learned that strength without acknowledgement is meaningless. We are ready to take our place among the stars. The only question is whether we do so as friends or as strangers. The human delegation departed, leaving the most powerful beings in the galaxy to grapple with a new reality. Humanity would no longer be ignored. Chapter 4. The Galactic Gamble, the Emergency. Session of the Grand Council had been in progress for 6 hours. The crystal chamber buzzed with tension as the most powerful beings in the galaxy debated humanity's ultimatum. Outside, the Harbinger waited with the patience of a sleeping dragon. Admiral Zekthor's tactical displays showed the full scope of humanity's revealed capabilities. Battle fleets positioned throughout the Sol system, defensive installations around every major celestial body, and construction platforms that had been building vessels for decades. The intelligence failure is catastrophic, he admitted to the assembled council. While we monitored their primitive chemical rockets and early nuclear technology, they were simultaneously developing faster-than-light capability, quantum computing, and weapon systems that rival our own. High Commander Thane's cybernetic brain processed thousands of calculations per second. Analysis of their revealed vessels suggests technological capabilities at least equivalent to our own. In some areas, their innovations appear superior. Counselor Velarix's crystalline form pulsed with frustrated energy. How is this possible? Their civilization is barely 10,000 years old. We have been spacefaring for millions of years. The Eternal Archon's ancient voice carried the weight of eons. Age does not always equal innovation, Velarix. Sometimes a fresh perspective can leap beyond established limitations. Executor Nath An gestured toward the tactical displays. The question before us is not how they achieved this, but what we do about it. Their fleet position suggests they could make any invasion of their system prohibitively costly. More than costly, Admiral Zekthor admitted reluctantly. Our projections suggest a 70% casualty rate for any assault on their home system, and that assumes they haven't revealed all their capabilities. The numbers sent shockwaves through the chamber. The Federation had not faced a military challenge of this magnitude in millennia. High Commander Thane highlighted specific data points. Analysis of their ambassador's statements suggests this revelation is part of a calculated strategy. They've been planning this moment for decades. The probe, Counselor Velarix whispered, her form flickering with realization. The monitoring probe that went missing 15 years ago. We assumed it was destroyed in a stellar anomaly. It crashed on their world, the Eternal Archon confirmed. And rather than panic or attempt immediate contact, they made it the foundation of their technological revolution. Admiral Zekthor studied the tactical implications. A species that could reverse engineer our technology so quickly, then improve upon it. They represent either a valuable ally or a dangerous enemy. Which brings us to the decision at hand, Executor Nathan said. Do we accept their terms for membership, or do we prepare for the galaxy's first interstellar war in 10,000 years? Aboard the Harbinger, Admiral Rodriguez maintained her position exactly 1 light hour from the Federation station. Her command crew monitored communications intercepts as the alien powers debated humanity's fate. Admiral, reported Commander Hayes, quantum communication analysis suggests significant disagreement within their council. Some factions are calling for immediate military action, others for diplomatic acceptance. Expected, Rodriguez replied calmly. Lieutenant Tanaka, any word from our deep space monitoring stations? Yes, Admiral. Station Prometheus reports Federation fleets mobilizing throughout the galaxy. They're preparing for multiple scenarios. Captain Volkov's cybernetic eye processed tactical data streams. Admiral, if they choose conflict, are we prepared? Rodriguez studied the displays showing Earth's hidden defenses. Eric, we've been preparing for this possibility for 15 years. Every simulation, every wargame, every strategic analysis has led to this moment. She activated a secure communication channel to Earth Command. Admiral Chen, this is Rodriguez. Status report. Admiral Sarah Chen's voice came through clearly from the hidden command center beneath the Canadian Rockies. Maria, all Earth Defense Forces are at highest readiness. Phase 2, construction platforms are online. If negotiations fail, we're prepared to implement the Prometheus Protocol. The Prometheus Protocol, humanity's final gambit. If the Federation chose war over diplomacy, Earth was prepared to seed the galaxy with self-replicating construction platforms. Within a century, human technology would spread throughout the galaxy faster than any military force could contain it. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Rodriguez replied. Any word from our deep cover assets? Project Looking Glass confirms. The Federation has never faced organized resistance from a newly contacted species. Their protocols assume primitive civilizations will be overawed by their technology and willingly submit to integration. Then we've definitely surprised them. Back in the Grand Council chamber, the debate was reaching a crucial point. The Eternal Archon called for order as voices rose throughout the crystalline space. Counselors, the ancient being intoned. We face a decision that will shape the galaxy's future. I call for formal statements from each faction. Admiral Zekthor rose first. The Military Council believes humanity represents a clear threat to Federation supremacy. Their capabilities, combined with their obvious planning and deception, mark them as dangerous. However, their offer of alliance suggests they prefer cooperation to conflict. Military recommendation: accept their terms under strict monitoring protocols. High Commander Thane's mechanical voice followed. The Nexus Collective Analysis concurs. Their technological innovations could significantly benefit Federation science and industry. Recommendation: full membership with shared technology agreements. Counselor Valerix's crystalline form flickered with reluctance. The hegemony finds their methods disturbing. To study us while pretending to be primitive shows a capacity for deception that concerns us. However, their demonstrated capabilities make conflict inadvisable. Conditional acceptance. Executor Nathan represented the Federation's economic powers. The Celestial Dominion sees opportunity. Their innovations in quantum computing and energy production could revolutionize galactic industry. Full acceptance recommended. All eyes turned to the Eternal Archon. The ancient being had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. His decision would carry enormous weight. In my millions of years of existence, he began slowly, I have seen species rise from primitive origins to galactic power. Most follow predictable patterns. First contact, gradual integration, eventual assimilation into the greater community. He paused, studying the displays showing humanity's revealed capabilities. Humanity has chosen a different path. Rather than waiting for us to judge them ready, they have judged themselves ready. Rather than accepting our evaluation of their worth, they have demonstrated their worth. This represents either dangerous arrogance or admirable self-determination. The chamber fell silent as the Archon's words echoed through the crystalline space. I have decided. Humanity will be offered full membership in the Galactic Federation, with all rights and responsibilities thereof. However, this membership comes with conditions. Admiral Rodriguez received the Council's decision 20 minutes later. Dr. Vasquez returned to the Federation station, this time as an official ambassador rather than a supplicant. The Federation accepts humanity's application for membership, the Eternal Archon announced formally. However, full integration requires compliance with specific conditions. Dr. Vasquez nodded diplomatically. We are prepared to hear your terms, honored Archon. First, immediate cessation of all covert intelligence gathering against Federation members. Second, full disclosure of all human military capabilities and installations. Third, participation in the Federation Defense Accord. Your vessels will contribute to galactic security operations. The terms were reasonable, exactly what humanity had hoped for. On behalf of the United Worlds of Humanity, I accept these conditions, Dr. Vasquez replied. However, we have conditions of our own. The Council stirred with surprise. New members did not typically negotiate terms. First, humanity retains complete sovereignty over the Sol system and any colonies we establish. Second, our technological developments remain our intellectual property, shared through voluntary agreements. Third, any Federation operations in human space require explicit human approval. Admiral Zekthor's eyes narrowed. You ask for unprecedented autonomy. We ask for the same rights enjoyed by every other Federation member, Dr. Vasquez replied calmly. True membership means equality, not subordination. The Eternal Archon considered the terms for long moments. Acceptable. Let it be recorded that humanity joins the Galactic Federation as a sovereign member state, with all rights and responsibilities thereof. As the formal ceremonies concluded, High Commander Thane transmitted a message to the Harbinger. Admiral Rodriguez, the Federation Council extends an invitation to dock with our station. It seems we have much to discuss about the future. Rodriguez smiled as she gave the order to move closer to the alien station. Commander Hayes, Signal all ships in the Sol system. Stand down from combat readiness. Maintain defensive positions, but activate diplomatic protocols. Aye, Admiral. Shall I signal Earth Command? Tell Admiral Chen that first contact was successful. Humanity is no longer alone in the universe. As the Harbinger moved toward the Federation station, its massive bulk casting shadows across the crystalline structure, a new chapter in galactic history began. The age of human isolation was over. The age of humanity among the stars had begun. But in the depths of space, other forces were watching. Powers that had remained hidden even from the Federation's ancient eyes. And they viewed humanity's emergence with very different intentions. The game had changed, but it was far from over. Epilogue: New Horizons. 6 months after first contact, Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the observation deck of Earth's newest orbital facility, Prometheus Station, humanity's diplomatic and military headquarters for galactic affairs. Through the massive transparisteel windows, she could see vessels from dozens of species docked at the station's multiple arms. The integration had proceeded better than anyone had dared hope. Human innovations in quantum computing had revolutionized Federation communications. Earth's advanced materials science had improved ship construction throughout the galaxy. Most importantly, humanity's fresh perspective on old problems had begun solving challenges that had stagnated for millennia. Admiral, called Captain Torres, Chen's new aide. The morning briefing is ready. Chen nodded, making her way to the command center. The briefing room now hosted a mix of human and alien officers, a sight that still amazed her after all these months. Commander Zektal, Admiral Zekthor's nephew, and the Federation's liaison to Earth Defense Forces, stood as Chen entered. The young Vortani had proven surprisingly adaptable to human military protocols. Admiral Chen, he said in accented but clear English, overnight intelligence reports indicate increased activity in the outer rim sectors. The species we've designated as the Watchers appear to be mobilizing. Chen frowned as she studied the tactical displays. The Watchers, an ancient civilization that even the Federation knew little about. They had remained hidden in the galaxy's outer reaches for millennia, observing but never participating in galactic affairs. Any indication of their intentions? Chen asked. Unknown, admitted Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, now head of Xenolinguistic Intelligence. Their communications are still completely encrypted, but the scale of their movement suggests something significant. Dr. Elena Vasquez, now Earth's permanent Federation ambassador, joined the briefing via quantum communication from the Federation capital world. Sarah, the Eternal Archon, is concerned. The Watchers haven't moved in over 50,000 years. The timing of their activity so soon after humanity's emergence. You think we triggered something? Chen concluded. It's possible. The Archon believes the Watchers may have been waiting for something or someone to change the galactic balance of power. Chen studied the star maps, showing the Watchers' movements. Are they a threat? Commander Zektal's reptilian features showed uncertainty. Unknown, Admiral. The Watchers possess technology that even the Federation doesn't fully understand. If they've decided to become active, the implications hung heavy in the recycled air of the space station. Recommendations? Chen asked. Continue integration protocols with the Federation, Dr. Vasquez replied, but also accelerate our own defensive preparations. If the Watchers represent a threat, we'll need every ally we can get. And if they represent an opportunity? Chen asked. Then humanity may have just become the bridge between two galactic civilizations, Zektal said thoughtfully. Your species' talent for innovation and adaptation could prove crucial. As the briefing concluded, Chen returned to the observation deck. Earth hung below, blue and green and beautiful, no longer isolated but not yet secure. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, but the universe was vast and full of mysteries. The communication array chimed with an incoming message. Chen accepted the transmission, and Admiral Rodriguez's face appeared on the holographic display. Sarah, the Harbinger, has just received some interesting visitors. 3 vessels of unknown configuration have requested permission to dock. They claim to represent the Watchers. Chen felt her pulse quicken. Are they hostile? Unknown. But their message was intriguing. They say they've been waiting to meet the species that surprised the galaxy. They want to talk. About what? They wouldn't say. But Sarah. Rodriguez's voice carried a note of wonder. Their vessels are beautiful, unlike anything in the Federation database, and their technology readings are off the charts. Chen made her decision. Grant them docking permission, but maintain full defensive protocols. I'm coming aboard the Harbinger. Understood. Oh, and Sarah? They specifically requested to meet with human leadership. They seem to know quite a lot about us. As Chen prepared to depart for humanity's most important encounter yet, she reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. From a species hiding in the shadows to galactic players hosting diplomatic meetings with ancient civilizations. The future stretched ahead, full of possibilities and dangers. But humanity would face it as they had faced every challenge, together, prepared and determined to write their own destiny among the stars. In the depths of space, the Watcher's vessels approached the Harbinger, carrying secrets that would reshape everything humanity thought they knew about the galaxy. But that, as they say, is another story. The age of humanity among the stars had truly begun. On an end of galactic rulers stunned by Earth's hidden supercarrier,